I'm Rob Merchant, White Castle Vineyard, Llynfethrin, which is just outside Abergwynny. White Castle Vineyard, planted 11 years ago, was a dream, now a big reality. So we produce, our staple, if you like, is 3 reds, 2 whites, a fortified, like a port style wine, and usually a sparkling of either white or pink.
I'm Richard Norris of Glyndŵr Vineyard in Llanbledyn in the Vale of Glamorgan, and I grew up on a small fruit farm, and that was after the Second World War when we were all encouraged to produce food. And my parents always encouraged me into gardening, naming trees, that sort of thing. So I've always had a massive interest in plants.
My name's Paul Rolt and I'm from Hebron Vineyard. I own Hebron Vineyard. That was planted about 10 years ago. We're in the foothills of the Preselles. I had moved over from a previous vineyard in Andalusia in Spain. So I probably had about 20 years experience growing vine. Hebron Vineyard is a very small boutique vineyard. It's family run. We only have about 3,000 to 4,000 vines. Our ethos is totally organic. I don't believe that any vine needs any intervention. This is pretty much contrary to general winemaking and viticulture itself. But it's something that we've done all along. I think
Welsh wine is something different in given that the varieties that we grow. Okay, so they're not well-known varieties like the Chardonnay, but they're equally as good. It's just getting the names of the wines out there to people to understand what we're doing. And yeah, as long as we focus on quality, then that's great. So for us, the year starts January, bit of pruning, or a lot of pruning. Then the growing season runs through until harvest in mid-September into October. So it's farming, it's weather dependent. Yeah, so we're no different to any other farmer really. Between protected destination of origin and GI, there's a variation in varietals that can be fitted into one category or the other because it was a European-wide initiative, and for me, right from the beginning, it was always going to be the driver in terms of where I wanted my wine to be. Through that process, it's the way that our wines, each vintage is analysed through taste and laboratory analysis, so it's a mark of quality which backs up what we're trying to do. So I think it's a great thing to be part of, and it is about the provenance and integrity of our wines. So our first wine that we registered came from our very first vintage in 2011. We registered 3 wines that year. That's all we harvested, small vintage. But as I say, that it's where I wanted to be, and it's what I felt was important to our brand going forward in terms of being a quality wine producer. So yeah, 2011, and we put wines through continually every year since. And some of our 2020 vintage, when it's ready, will go through the process as well.
First of all, our vines have been in a long time. It's almost 40 years. But if you plant the right sort of vines in your area and you really look after them, they will reward you the rest of your life.
What's unique about this product in particular is that it's totally organic. The vines are maintained in an organic way.
So for us to be able to get the GI status, and that, again, that's really important in terms of provenance and integrity to underpin everything that we do.
So yes, but the PGI is really important to us because it does show that it's unique to us. It shows that this vintage, because they're tested on every vintage, but this particular vintage has reached the appropriate quality tests, the appropriate provenance from what, you know, it does actually come from Wales. It's our grapes here that have created this drink here, and it's got its certificate there to say, you should drink this because it's really good quality wine, and it's from Wales, and it's fantastic. And every year I'm more than happy to put our vintages through this process so that people can see, so that there is a mark, a benchmark, and hopefully it will generate more interest in Welsh wine.